Hello and welcome to What Now with Anna and Eric. I am Anna.
I'm Eric.
And we are so excited to talk with you
Unbelievably
today.
excited.
It is going to be a great day full of many distractions, which, by the way, is our topic.
Like this mouse. So distracted.
Stop touching. Stop touching the mouse. Leave it alone.
I'm so distracted by it.
I know you are.
I can't help it.
And it's unfortunate.
Spiritual growth is a puzzle, and I'm a little bit muddled. What does discipleship even mean? What now? What now?
So, Eric, could you please tell our listeners / watchers?
15.
15.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me a math problem. I solved it. No? All right. No.
What is 10 plus 6?
Oh, I was so close. I don't have a pen and paper.
Yeah. So,
All right.
yeah. What's happening in your life?
Just chilling.
That's it? That's all you have to say?
Hey, we had Thanksgiving. That happened.
Oh, that's right. Gosh, that feels like so long ago.
It was last week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Remember our Thanksgiving spectacular?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so did you get my picture that I texted you?
Yes.
Of the Thanksgiving sandwich.
Yes.
I made one.
Without cranberry.
We didn't have any, so. Did you make one?
No.
Well, it's your own fault then.
You know what?
You should have made one.
We didn't have green bean casserole. So there you go.
Yeah, but you could have made it with cranberry and mashed potatoes.
But it wouldn't have had... You can't... I gave you next level options. You can't go to the next level without having the first level.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Could have given some style
Nah.
points.
But I did...
Yeah, so how was your Thanksgiving?
it was not bad.
Did you do anything really exciting?
No. I made homemade rolls. British Bacon Show. Thank you for inspiring me.
Rolls?
They were not bad.
Or were they crackers?
They were rolls, and they were not bad. I actually had fun making them. Baking. It's a thing.
Wait, so did you do it based off of the British Baking Show?
No, but it inspired me to want to bake.
Oh.
So,
Congrats.
I made the dough, homemade from scratch. Made the dough, rolled them up into the balls and baked them.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They weren't bad. So, how about you? What was your Thanksgiving like? What Thanksgiving tradition besides the Thanksgiving sandwich? What else happened?
Yes. So we went over to my brother Daniel's house, which was new this year. We don't usually go to his house. And we played. Are you familiar with the werewolf game? It's like Mafia, where like somebody's like a bad guy, and you have to figure out who it is.
Huh.
And there's like eliminations and stuff.
All right, I'm with you.
Anyways, it was so much fun. My family, they all have creative minds, so we would like come up with these really elaborate scenarios for this werewolf thing that was happening. And there was this one that all happened in a southern town, and there was these like band members, and they slowly got eliminated. Anyway, I can't really describe to you how elaborate it was, but it was so much fun. And then at the end of the day, so I carpooled with my parents, and then I was going to carpool back with my brother James, because we live in Heartland. My middle brother's house is in Fowlerville. And so my parents left first, and I was going to carpool with my brother James, only to find out that his headlight was completely dead. Him and Daniel couldn't figure out how to fix it, so then we had a mandatory Thanksgiving sleepover.
Mandatory?
It was mandatory, yes.
Wow.
It was that or walking, and it would have been a very long walk.
So
it's like a 35-minute drive.
Were both headlights out or just one?
It was unclear. All that I heard was that it was like a really expensive ticket. And I was like, well, can't we just do this? And he was like, no. So, mandatory sleepover on Thanksgiving. It was very exciting.
You didn't have your toothbrush?
That was the saddest part. I went straight home and brushed my teeth.
I hope so. Just saying. Just making sure.
I'm not about that business. Brushing teeth, important.
Yeah.
Imminent. Needs to happen.
There you go.
That was my Thanksgiving. I was very excited. And
here's the question we can't move on until we know the answer
Oh,
to.
sorry.
How is your table doing?
Oh no.
Oh no. Listen, we're in this together, Anna.
I don't
we're
know
all
how,
here for you.
but I ruined it.
What? Wait, what?
did.
You
It's
last
so
week
bad.
last we talked, you could have started over.
Yeah, I'm
And-
gonna
and
have
you
to
just-
straight up and I did try to kind of start over. Like I sanded down like a layer of the whatever it's called, and somehow it became even worse than it was before. So like it's got all these bumps and ridges on what should be a smooth, flat top. So now
no.
I have to. I'm just leaving it for right now because I'm like done with it. I'm like,
Wow.
ugh. So I'm one day in the future gonna have to sand the top all the way back down to the wood.
You know
and
what they
start the
say?
whole process over.
When projects get difficult, give up. Yeah, just done with it.
Well,
Yeah,
the
don't-
benefit of
try to-
it is I'm gonna have to sand on the top, but at least the bottom and the live edge will there's gonna just be done. Like I'm not gonna have to redo that at least. And the tung oil soaks into the wood, so I'm not gonna need as many layers as I originally put on it. So when I redo it, I'll be able to skip some steps, but it's quite horrible looking. You can't tell in the shadows. It looks really nice in the shady areas, you know? But as soon as the light is shining directly on it, you're like, oh no. So sad.
Huh.
And you were the one who told me it's your first wood project. Don't worry about it. And yet here you are judging me.
No, I'm judging your giving up. You're not persevering. You're not attacking it and saying, you know what? I'm going to solve this problem and I'm going to push through. You're
No.
saying, you
Well,
know
I
what,
ran
table?
out of tung oil.
Take
I'm gonna
that.
have to go buy more tung oil. I'm gonna have to get my brother's actual sanding machine, bring it over to my house, retarp everything, which I had to throw away my tarp because I had tung oil all over it, and the children kept stepping on it. There's a lot
children.
there's a lot of things that are gonna have to
Huh.
happen.
All
So
right,
yeah, that's
well,
where I'm at with my woodworking project.
All right.
So for those of you who have run into difficulties with your personal projects, don't give up.
like Anna did.
Unless you just need to take a break. Then that's okay. It's okay to take a break. I will come back to it. Listen, my majestic robe that had a 5-year break in between, we
Oh.
did finish it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
finished my projects.
There's still
It
time.
doesn't usually happen. And I'm currently using it as a coffee table. I just let it solidify as is, and it's just not beautiful, but it still works. Like I put the legs on it and everything.
Oh,
So
Well, there you go.
It's usable.
what's going on with the book? We haven't heard about the book in a while either.
I have not heard back from the agent person. That
All right.
deadline is the 13th, so I got about 9 days.
Oh, so we're still waiting.
We're still waiting. We're in
Okay.
that process.
There you go.
So, let's talk about. You've successfully distracted me from moving forward. In this
Listen. I just the people care about what's going on with you. You have a lot going on. You have layers like tung oil.
You have layers, Eric.
No,
What's going on with all of your secret projects?
I don't see no secret projects.
There's gonna be something.
Nope.
No.
Yeah. That's why you're the
Mysterious
interesting one.
layers.
That's why you're,
Mysterious layers of Eric Anderson.
yes, true enough.
So on Sunday,
Yes.
oh, let's do the you do the Sunday recap, and I will do the Sunday recap music.
All right, hit it.
You ready for this? Sunday recap. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Wow.
It felt right.
You know what? We're gonna go with
That
it.
was your lead-in.
Thanks.
Go.
That was great. Sunday, the Jason Rates
Yes.
was in the building.
So good.
You know
it
what?
Was so good.
That guy brings
lot
it.
of fun.
He brings some energy. He brings
does.
some humor.
Yes, he does.
Listen, so what did we get out of it? He told some lady that he was gonna butter her biscuits.
Yeah.
So that happened
Yeah.
in her monologue. And preaching to
Now,
somebody
for those of
in
you
a hot
that
tub.
didn't watch Sunday, he did say, "I have no idea why I said that. It slipped out," and he was totally mortified.
Eh,
So.
you know, and then he did preach the gospel message to a girl in the hot tub.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that girl was passionate about recycling.
She was. She
So,
didn't really
you know
care
what?
about the gospel.
No, but
At the
hey,
time.
but he had some passion to it.
He did. He was very excited.
And
Tell
really,
somebody about Jesus.
what it all came down to, I guess, if we were going to take all that other stuff away,
Yeah.
there were actually some Bible-based preaching in there.
There was. was, yes.
And we talked about that Martha. Martha. And we talked about really what it looks like to really be focused on what is important and focused on Jesus and not being distracted by all the things that are going on in life, because those distractions can take you away from what's most important.
True statement.
So that was when you strip away the hot tub baptisms and the Sunday service Kanye choir coming out and butter and biscuits.
Yeah.
All that stuff. We really look at it and say, are we really focused on the one thing that is important, and that is Jesus?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's a pretty good Sunday recap.
I think it is a pretty good Sunday recap. And, you know, something that I was thinking about, even as I was thinking about talking about distractions, we get so distracted on this podcast. We are rabbit trailing all the time.
I have no
was
clue
really
what you're
struck by
talking
that.
about. I am dead on focused.
Denial.
Yeah.
Which is a river in Egypt.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Watch out.
The most used joke ever. Okay. So, I was looking up
So what
distractions.
is your favorite joke of all time?
My favorite joke
Yeah.
of all time? Oh gosh, I don't even know if I know that many jokes.
What?
Yeah. Maybe the Kung Fu Panda one? The knock knock joke? Yeah.
Go for it.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Sheaf.
Sheaf who?
I don't remember how it ends. Oh, I think it's just like, it's me, Panda. Open the door. Like Master Shifu.
I like set it up. I made sure that
You did it so well.
it correctly.
And then I was like, is that really how that joke goes? I didn't remember exactly.
Oh, you know,
I had to pull through. I had to come through on the
I
other
try
side
so
of
hard.
that. You did.
I embrace my supporting role here, and you just.
What's your favorite joke? Oh gosh, we're getting distracted already.
What? Oh,
This is
I
the
didn't
first
see that
rabbit
coming.
trail.
Oh no.
Did you do that on purpose?
Maybe.
I fell for
It's
it.
too easy. It's too easy. All right.
I didn't even realize that was happening. Okay. So, I was looking up some distraction facts just for fun.
That's what I look up for fun.
But ironically, the distraction facts were not fun. So, I mean, for the most part. I wanted to look up, like, statistics. Like, I was looking up distraction statistics.
Here, do you want me to give you a great distraction fact?
Yes, I would love.
All right.
Love a great distraction fact.
The conversation I had with my wonderful, brilliant 10-year-old Bennett,
Yeah.
his question was, is Christopher Columbus a good guy or a bad guy?
Oh, that actually is a good question.
Yeah.
He's very much idolized, kind of, historically, but he also did some very not great things.
Yeah. And if you put it in cultural relevance, I mean, he was just kind of doing what everybody was doing at that time. They were discovering and they were conquering and they were doing it by any means necessary. But yeah, so
culturally at the time, he was a good guy, but historically, looking back, he's like 50-50.
yeah, I don't know. And he wasn't even supposed to be there anyway. He didn't show up where he was supposed to
It was
anyway.
accidental.
Yeah, so anyway, so there's a good distractional random topic, a good distractional fact. See,
Oh, yeah, so that had nothing to do with distraction? You were literally just throwing out a distracting fact.
well, what is that? That distracted us from what we were talking about, and it's a fact. Christopher Columbus, fact.
That's
He's
how
a person.
That's how you're pulling that together.
There you
Okay,
go. I'll
all
give
right.
it to you.
All right, interesting.
All right.
So here's something. Distracted driving is the #1 automobile killer. I was like, that's sad. Yeah, so that's a fact.
Don't text and drive, kids.
Not fun. Not a fun fact. Yeah, and apparently, and because I was looking at the difference, you have an iPhone versus an Android, you are
Yes.
more likely to be distracted.
Because they're better.
Is that why?
Yeah, because nobody wants to look at their Android phone.
This phone is
Everything's
dumb.
wrong.
I'm just going to keep driving.
Yeah, I don't even need this phone.
So really, if
This
we
really doesn't do
wanted
anything.
to eliminate distracted driving, we really just need to give everybody Androids.
Yeah, because nobody would use them. Everybody would be like, wow, I hate this phone. I wish I could get out of this contract.
Taking a left turn.
Yep.
Doo-doo-doo.
All prepared.
3/4 of workers say that they're distracted at work. It's like 75%, 70%. It's a lot of people.
That is. Distracted work by
Yeah, distracted work.
just things.
And as far as where to find these facts, Google.
Wow. Google distractional facts.
Google.
You know-
Google facts about distraction. This is where I found them.
Anime puts on a lot of hard work.
I
And
do,
effort.
yes. It was great. Well, most of them were related to like distracted driving and stuff, and I was like, where are the fun facts? Where are the fun distraction facts? I don't
Did
know
you
if they
think there
exist.
really was going to be fun distractional facts?
I don't know. There's usually fun facts about everything. So I just thought, although now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't actually Google fun distraction facts. I just, so that might have been
User error.
the stretch. Yeah, I needed
User
to stretch
error.
a little further.
Oh, man.
The definition of distraction, which you can find on dictionary.com, is as follows.
Or you could find it in an actual dictionary.
Or in an actual dictionary. Distraction is a thing that prevents someone from giving their full attention to something else. I was like, that's kind of interesting that it defines it specifically by full attention, you know?
Yeah. So multitasking, no good.
No good.
No good because you're distracted.
Supposedly a myth,
Yep.
according to research nowadays. Multitasking is not a thing.
No, don't do it.
I still do
Don't even
it.
try to do it.
Even after learning that it wasn't a thing, I still do it.
You know?
My brain. I just enjoy
Yep,
it.
you're constantly distracted.
Yes. But then there's this other, so I found a quote then.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at, man, you know what?
I did all sorts of research on
Wow,
this.
you did.
Because I was interested.
Just spin the wheel of
Yeah,
research. I'll give
exactly.
you all
So
the
there's this
random
quote.
research. Go for it.
Julio Cortázar.
Ooh,
No idea.
good old
But
Cortázar.
I think it's from a book. It's called Around the Day in 80 Worlds. And I was like, that is the most genius title. Around the Day in 80 Worlds. Because it's usually Around the World in 80 Days. But
I'm
it
with ya.
flip-flops. So I was like, I would love to read a book. Anyways.
Why?
So, because
I-
it just sounds so 80 different worlds, possibly in a day, that just sounds so interesting.
By
Also, if you think about it, like per hour, so there's 24 hours in a
Julio
day, 80 worlds.
Cortázar.
That means you get like about half an hour in each world. It would be like 15 minutes. I don't think we needed that math, but.
Julio Cortázar.
Right, so this is what the quote was.
Yes.
All profound distractions. Wait, no.
Uh-oh.
All profound distraction opens certain doors. You have to allow yourself to be distracted when you are unable to concentrate. Which is ironically like the opposite of what some people would say. But I did think that actually is true for me with writing sometimes. Like if I can't fully concentrate and like figure out, okay, how am I going to go through this passage or how am I going to go through this subject? And I can't fully concentrate. I have to take a break, like from woodworking, for example.
Who knows when that's going
and
to come
go
back.
do something else so that when I come back, then I can reignite my focus. I
Yeah,
guess.
because I mean, what do
You know
we
what I'm
want to do?
saying?
We want to give full attention to something, and if we can't, instead of trying to multitask and just kind of battle through it,
Yeah.
it's just saying, you know what, give in to the distraction, be distracted for a little bit, and then come back to it. Way to go,
statement.
Julio
Julio
Cortázar.
Cortázar.
Quasar?
Around the day in 80 worlds.
Darn right.
It gets me. I like it. So, anyways, let's talk about the Bible.
Go for it. This is
Yeah.
exciting.
So, as I did some research into the Bible too,
Oh,
not just like the
There
world.
we go.
Mm-hmm. So I got basically some different passages. So as far as specifically talking about distraction, there are like two central passages that I found just in like my preliminary discovery. The first one is Martha, which Jason Race talks about. So she was distracted by serving. And so did not sit at the feet of Jesus. The other one
She
is
was
in...
kind of doing a lot, hosting a lot of people at her house, cooking food,
This is true.
had to clean it up. She's got a big house, fit
Yeah.
all those people.
It's true. I mean, hosting is a very distracting.
Yeah.
Because then you have to take out the garbage. You got to go do your dishes.
Yeah.
We don't need to go that
Nobody
far
was
into
helping
it.
her with
Nobody
that.
was helping her. So, and then the other one is from 1 Corinthians 7:35. And interestingly enough, I didn't actually write down the verse.
So you have it from
Look it
memory.
up.
Go
Look it
for
up.
it.
Look it up.
Oh,
But
all right, filler.
here is what this talks about. So when it talks about distractions, the one in Martha talks about she was distracted by serving, by doing good things, right? And then 1 Corinthians 7:35, which talks about distractions, which Eric is going to read for us.
I'm getting distracted. I'm on my Instagram.
What?
Nope.
I see you
I
scrolling
can't do it. Yep.
through
my
the U version. Like I can see it from here. I know that's what you're doing.
1 Corinthians
35.
35. Which version do you want?
I don't care. Whatever version you have, I guess. Yeah.
All right, let's try the New Living Translation.
Hit me.
Why not?
Hit me.
Wow. 34.
I think I was looking up NIV.
All right, let's do NIV. Here. I got you. I will update later. I do not want to be distracted.
It's too
Thank
late.
you, Bible app.
Too late.
All right. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a right way in undivided devotion to the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Which, maybe it was the other version that says undistracted. Something like that.
Let's see. I am saying this for your benefit.
Why do you keep pointing at me? Stop that.
Not to place restrictions on you. I want you to do whatever will help you serve the Lord best with as few distractions as possible.
No, that was it.
So-
So in this one, I was reading around it because I was like, thinking about context. Whenever you read the Bible, figure out what the context is. And this is actually talking about marriage. This whole section is. It's basically like Paul is talking to the Corinthian church and he's like, I'm not married. And if you're not married and you're not already devoted to somebody, you shouldn't get married because as soon as you get married, your focus is not just going to be on God. It's also going to be on your spouse. And, whatever. So I was like, oh, how interesting. Because, if we think about it, some of our distractions, and specifically in these two passages, I think that there is a fine line between what is a distraction and what is a responsibility, And sometimes we can mix them up, and sometimes we can flip-flop them, and then sometimes our responsibilities are, in a way, our distractions, but they are still responsibilities. Because I'm thinking about, like a parent. Your kids can be distractions, but you can't just, ditch your kids. You know what I mean?
Well, not legally.
Or, your family can be your distraction, your job can be your distraction, all of these different things that can distract you from having that full focus, but you also can't just leave everything and just move on with your life necessarily. So I thought that was interesting. Now, the other verses that I looked up, and I did actually write these ones down.
All right.
So the other verses that I was looking up don't specifically talk about distractions, but they flip-flop it and they talk about focus.
Ooh.
So there's
I'm not good at this one.
2 verses on distraction, but then there's a billion on focus, right? So it's the opposite.
So give me your hits. What's your top one?
My top one?
Well, you said you had 2. Which one do you like better?
Oh, no. The 2 are the Martha and the 1 Corinthians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The focus, though, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I wrote down. Yeah, because they all have. But I'll summarize it. So, it very much talks about, there's these, what I'm going to say, verb words, action words. So it talks about set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. Mm-hmm. Seek first the kingdom of God. Meditate on the law day and night. Set your minds on things of the Spirit. Think about these things. So it's very much talking about focus, but what I noticed as I was looking through all these passages is that it's very specific on this is something that you do. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about, if I don't have distractions, then I'll be able to focus on God. I just got to get rid of all my distractions and move that, and then it'll just happen naturally. But I think from reading the Bible and looking at these scriptures that it doesn't appear that it's something that happens naturally. It appears as something you got to do intentionally. Yeah,
because it's very easy to let all the other things, I guess you could say tangible things, the things you can touch, the things that are right here, the things that the world is kind of saying, these are the things, you can let those really take precedence over God. And I think that's a lot of what people say is, how many times do you really thank God? Do you really glorify him, even in the bad situations? Because that's putting him before everything else and saying, okay, I know this good thing's happening. I know this bad thing's happening. I know this thing is happening, but I'm going to turn my focus back to you and whatever it is. I'm going to praise you. I'm going to thank you. I'm going to understand that you're bigger than all of this. And if it's through reading the Bible, if it's through meditation, if it's through prayer, whatever that is that puts you back on track, then whatever it is, I need a bigger house, or I need a new car, or I need this, that can go away because you're putting your focus on God and saying, God, what do you want for me? What should I really be? What do I need? And do I have these needs met? And I think that's a lot of what this is saying is, yeah, it's very easy, but here are some tools to really work at keeping God at the forefront of everything.
Well, and one of these, which is Matthew 6:33, which is seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, all these things will be added to you. And that's Jesus who's talking. And when he's talking about it, he is specifically referring to the worries that we have, like where's our next meal coming from? Where are we going to get our clothes? Where are we going to do this? And Jesus is saying, like, well, stop worrying about it. Stop worrying about tomorrow, because when you seek first God, these things will come. And then the other verses, so like Colossians 3:2, I'm just going to list them.
Go for it.
Colossians 3:2, Romans 8:5, Philippians 4:8, like those ones are all of them are talking about setting your mind on God so that you do not get distracted by and fall into like temptation or, sin, basically. And so it was just kind of interesting to see the different things in the Bible that it talks about getting distracted from. So like for Martha, it was serving. It was doing the good things. For 1 Corinthians, it was family. So what are our responsibilities? When Jesus was talking about, he was talking about like our worries, things that we're anxious about. And then there's a whole list of verses that talks about basically what is the sin in our lives that distracts us from focusing on God. So,
yeah,
because there are so many different things.
So what tools do you have in your tool belt to keep God first?
Yeah.
That's, I think, you got to look at. And if you're like, dude, I got nothing. I'm into all this other stuff. I'm into all the cool stuff. I want to make sure I look cool. I want to make sure I get all the money. I want to make sure I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill. If you have all this stuff stacked up, then maybe it's time to figure out how can you put God first in all of it. Yeah.
And it very much is, it goes back to that action step. You have to be intentional about doing it.
I like that you're.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pounding the desk. You're
with my
intense. Intense.
Well, you have to have intense intentionality.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah, you like that? Put that
Watch
together.
out.
You have to have intense intentionality when it comes to focusing on God. And so, and very much, this is very much in the brain too. So it's like, set your mind on it. Think about it. Set your mind on it again. Meditate on it. Like, go after it. That's what we have to do to maintain that focus.
There you go.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily easy, but I think that goes back to it's not going to happen naturally. You really got to go after it. Because let's be honest, even doing this podcast, I get distracted every 2 seconds.
What? Yeah. By what? I could never.
Mostly Eric.
I would never. Stop it.
So what now?
You got a class for this?
Do I have a class for not getting distracted? We don't necessarily have a class on not getting distracted. This is usually
the time where you usually throw in the class plug.
Yeah.
Bummer.
There's a class on how to share your story, completely unrelated to the topic of today, and somewhat of a distraction, I guess.
There you go.
Which is happening on this Sunday.
Yeah, actually. December 8th. 11 a.m.
Oh, yeah, it is December 8th.
I know.
Wow.
Man.
That threw me.
I got you.
Yeah, so it is this Sunday, and it is during the second experience. Walk-ins are welcome. It's a good class. Not related to distractions, but something that you can look at is really look at study the Bible. I think that's a big next step. Study the Bible.
You got a class for that. How did that class go, by the way?
Bible? It was really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fun.
I don't think we ever touched it. You need to celebrate your wins a little bit more.
We had a bunch of random people
There you
who
go.
attended, which was fun. It was very fun.
See?
And we got into in-depth discussion about how to read the Bible. Lots of people had questions. So in a way, we were rabbit trailing a little bit, but it was basically all on topic. And so it was
Boom.
just good. Yeah.
See?
We hung out,
So there
chatted
you go.
about focusing on the Word of God. Yeah, so do that. Look it into the Bible and be very intentional and think about it. Set your mind on it. Meditate on it. Always be thinking about Jesus and what is your next step in your spiritual growth so that you are not distracted.
And what?
Because distractions are always going to be present.
And I think if you start identifying what your distractions are,
Oh, yeah.
really making sure you know what are those things that pull you away. Is it social media? Is it the news? Is it worries? Whatever those things are, start identifying it and really go to God with those distractions and say, God, how can I work through this? How can I handle this? How can I put these aside to make sure I focus on what's important?
I literally just talked to someone today who said that she was working more to listen to God and hear God's voice. And she said she deleted her Instagram. She
What?
turned off her Facebook notifications,
No.
was turning off some of her other notifications so that she wouldn't have that distraction that is keeping her from that full focus. Yeah, literally just had that talk today. And I was
Wow.
like, this is so relevant.
How
That's good.
how is she going to keep up with everybody?
I don't do it. I was like, yeah, me too. But I never had it in the first place. Really,
well.
so.
Hey,
So,
good things.
What now? Check it out. Do those things. Possibly come to share class if you really want to. And
We'd love to have you.
yes, we would love to have you, and we would love for you to continue tuning in to What Now with Anna and Eric, where we talk about
Distractions,
distractions,
jokes, facts.
facts,
You know, the whole
and
thing.
what is your next step in your spiritual growth.
Yeah.
So, thank you for listening to What Now with Anna and Eric. I am Anna,
I'm Eric.
and we are so happy to distract you today.
Bye.